Hello everyone. My name is Alicia. I live in Alaska with my husband, but who knows the future? You guys must have noticed that I'm sad. You have guessed it right. I'm not feeling well as I had done what I should not have. I was totally confused at that time, and the condition wasn't in our favor. I'm going to share my recent past with you guys. It's quite emotional, and I want a serious listener who could help me. Things were healthy from all perspectives. I met him at a party. He was a shy man and seemed cute to me. I noticed that he wanted to talk to me, but he wasn't able to muster up the courage. I tried to take the lead and slipped towards him. I looked straight into his eyes. He wasn't able to make static eye contact in the beginning. I started the conversation. Now, he was accommodating himself. I learned that he was a man of wit. Soon his confidence was revived and he started talking informally. We enjoyed glasses of wine together. His seriousness was not lingering anymore on his face. Instead, it was replaced by his jolly mood. His puns attracted me. When we were done with the wine, he took a glass from my hand to place on the table behind him. His hand touched mine, and, OMG, I didn't know why I felt a strange feeling across my heart. I had never encountered such a feeling. I must say it was more than awesome. It was a sort of spiritual tenderness. He asked me to go for a walk outside. Yes, I wanted to spend more time with him too. He was looking handsome in his perfectly stitched suit. I was like following him, but he dragged me close to him. Removing his coat, he wrapped it around my shoulder. How romantic and caring he was. I used the word was. I beg your pardon because he is still caring, but who knows if he will remain or not. Because my sin is really bad, I will share it with you shortly. Just stay with me and guide me. Where I was, yes, he wrapped his coat around my shoulders. His hand was warming my back. We stopped at the corner of a dark alley. He looked into my eyes. His eye contact was intact. Now, I was hesitating a bit, but he supported me with his emotions. He told me that it was love at first sight for him. Then he asked what was going on in my brain. What could I say? I must confess with you guys that I have never met a man like him. He was amazing. The way he talked, the way he cared about me, the way he expressed his emotion. It was all genuine and straight from his heart. I felt that. He must have understood me because he held my lips with his before I could speak. It was a passionate one. His actions had told me that he deserved it. I didn't want to separate my skin from his, but I did, unintentionally. We looked at each other, we were smiling, and the taste had been exchanged. We strolled back to the party, which was going to end shortly. He asked for my contact number and promised to see me again. That very night, I didn't sleep. My mind was occupied with his smiling face. I felt as if I was breathing his fragrance. His hands were still moving around my neck. I smiled and then laughed bitterly. It was 3 in the morning, and I was still wandering in his thoughts. Slumber had no concern for me now. I felt as if I had met the man who was made for me. How could I sleep when his glinting eyes were watching me? I think it was his gentle whisper which took me to the world of fantasy. The alarm tried its level best with its noise to jolt me awake, but I put it on snooze every time. It was now my mom who knocked at the door and woke me. I couldn't dare to resist her. It was the start of the week and I could foresee the whole burden. I dressed up and left for the office. I kept thinking about him. My mind was stuffed with uncomforting ideas. Why hadn't he called me? Why hadn't he left a message for me? Did he really want to continue, or it was getting hard for me to focus on my work. It was afternoon break when I received his message. I was furious at him. Why so late? I typed some harsh messages in my rage, but he tackled the situation calmly. As I told you, he was a man of wit. He knew how to mitigate my anger. He planned for dinner. It was the best food my tongue ever tasted. Maybe because he cooked it. Yes, I was invited to his home. He and I alone. The peace was dwelling. His parents lived with him too, but they were in another town that very night. He wanted me to stay with him, but I refused. I don't know why. Now we were meeting sometimes at lunch and sometimes at dinner. His presence with me was enough to draw away all of my pains and miseries. One night after dinner, while we were in his car, he slipped his hand in his pocket and fished out a small box. I started smiling because I understood what was going to happen. He clicked the little box open. A perfectly designed ring was there. He whispered, "Will you be mine forever?" My tears rolled across my cheeks. He held my hand and adjusted the ring in my finger. Then he kissed me. I didn't know how long it took to get separated. When our parents learned about all of it, they rejected the idea. Neither my family liked him nor his parents wanted to see me as their daughter-in-law, but our love was unconditional. He decided to leave his parents, and so did I for him. We took this house for rent and started our new life. It was going all well in the beginning. We faced trouble monetarily, but tried our best to keep things going on smoothly. The worst of the thing happened when the pandemic hit our town. The business were going down, and the companies started kicking out their employees. He lost his job too. The situation was hard to deal with, but I supported him as I could. It was me, now, who was running the house. Meanwhile, he kept searching for a new job. My biggest mistake in that situation was that I told my boss about it. Now, my boss tried to exploit me. He threatened to kick me out of the job. I cheated on my husband to keep things in position. I didn't want to do that, but I had no option. When my husband learned about it, he shouted at me and left the house. I don't know where he is, but he contacted me yesterday and told me that he would meet me. I'm waiting for him to return home. I can't live without him. Can you guys guess what he will do? Will he forgive me? How should I treat him now? Please leave the comments to help me.